What's going on, everyone? I wanted to provide a informational assistance for people that are looking to add feed rules and fix errors in 2025 and beyond. Essentially, your errors will look like this, where maybe it says identifier exists, or maybe you're lacking colors or MPNs for your products in Merchant Center. Obviously, that can affect your clicks, and it's pretty important to get them fixed. So once you're in your Merchant Center, you're going to go to the settings gear up in the top right that says data sources. In our data sources, we're going to select the feed that is showing the issues. So 99% of you will likely have something like this, which says Content API. You click on Content API or the name of your feed. Over here to the attribute rules, which will essentially allow us to modify our feed directly in Merchant Center. So for this example, we're going to be working with, we'll pretend like our products are missing MPN, manufactured part number. Oh, sorry, I did that really fast. I'll go in here and type in the attribute that you want to modify. So in our case, we're going to modify our MPNs. Here's a really important step for doing this before you actually modify. We don't want to go in and clear out all of our existing MPNs that might be on some products. So we're going to set a conditional rule that will always take precedence that says we'll only modify MPNs after it's gone through and double checked that they're blank. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the attribute gtin contains, and then we're just going to set some really long string that we know a gtin could never be. Essentially, we're telling Merchant Center that, you know, we want to double check that we're not overriding any values, but also that this can only happen if the gtin is that crazy number. We're going to set it to, again, whatever we want. This is going to be our hypothetical MPN that is not actually going to do anything. Now the important part where we can actually modify our MPNs. So in this case, we have that set up. We're going to add one more that says, you know, click the button that says add more ways to replace data. So now we get the important part where this condition comes up where it says update MPN if it has no value. Now we can set it to another attribute. So technically MPNs are not real things. They're just local for you as a business owner. In this case, we're just going to set it to the product ID. All products will have to have IDs in Merchant Center. They literally won't even exist if they don't have one. So we know this number will always be here. Okay. Draft. And on our next screen, it'll tell us what this is going to do. You can test it. In this case, this retailer doesn't need this modification, so I'm just going to discard it. But that should take care of missing MPNs as an issue in the future. So another one that comes up pretty often, especially for like jewelry or apparel, is missing colors. So in this case, we're going to update the attribute rule for our color. We're going to do the same thing that we did in the last one, where we set our condition to where gtin, sure that we're not overriding any random colors that we might have in there, and we'll just set it to a random string of numbers again. Okay. And now for our actual modification, where if color has no value yet, we're going to extract and multiple tools here. So extract essentially says if this product has maybe a color in the title, the description, we want to grab that color and use it as our actual color. So we're going to set up two different rules here. One is for, we're going to scan the description. I have a giant string of colors that I have saved. And just, you know, Google the 20 common colors. So that'll extract from our description. And then we'll add one more, add more ways to replace data. So again, if our color still has no value, we're going to say, look at our product titles. And we always want to use the primary feed title. Let's see here. Extract. to, we want to do extract here. And then I will paste my list of colors in here as well. Those are two ways that can be really helpful. Again, you'd have to save drafts, go to the next page, and then apply. And then the third way that I really like feed rules and is if I want to filter out my products by like price point. So, oops, we're gonna go back to our primary feed and add an attribute rule. Set custom label 0. So custom label 0 is something that you as a retailer or marketer can use to modify your product data in order to split it out in your shopping ads. So in Google Ads, in shopping campaigns, there's a way to filter your products breakout by the custom label. So you can use custom labels 0 through 5. In this case, what I want to do is I'm going to set up a rule where if my price is, say, 10, we're going to set the custom label 0 to $10 or more. And so you have to click on this value. So essentially what this is going to do is in Google Ads, when I want to filter my products, I do have a bunch of different price points where you say between $10 and $20 and between $50 and $100. You can set those and then set up your bidding. So maybe you do return on ad spend bidding for the low products, and then you want to maximize conversions for your highest price point product maybe. Or you can do this with your margins where you say, our margins are 10% on this. So essentially you can do that and then add another one where if it doesn't have a value yet, say it's not greater than 10, say set it to less than 10. And so now I have a really easy way to break out products by price point, and it's not really a great way to do it otherwise in Google Ads. Essentially, you can go through and do this by a lot of other attributes, whatever you deem valuable. Obviously, I like to set this up for probably like 5 different layers of price points, so that way I can split out my campaigns and know what effort I need to put into managing those campaigns, revenue driving for me. I hope those are helpful. Please leave a comment in the description, or in the comments, if you found this to be helpful. If you want my list of colors, I'm happy to send that over, or maybe attach it somewhere online wherever we can snag it. But yeah, feel free, if you have any questions, to leave them down there as well. And I am taking suggestions for other Merchant Center videos if you'd like to learn how to use it more effectively. Thanks.